Welcome to Ask the Meadmaker. I'm a little under the weather this week. I don't get sick often. In fact, the last time would have been the Spaniards' influenza, after I got back from being a chaplain in the Great War. And I'm a little sneezy. But I think you will find that through the course of the episode, our seamless editing will make the cuts almost unnoticeable. Welcome to Ask the Meadmaker, where I, Ricky the Meadmaker, answer your questions about mead making, mead drinking, mead brewing, and really, any question you're willing to send to me. A lot of people have been asking, how did the Black Tie Gala go? How much money did you raise? The answers are to be found in an article that is linked below, but the general, it went great. We raised over $800 for our charities, and we now have a website devoted to this new fund called friendlyviking.org. where you can learn more about our upcoming initiatives. I got several questions this week from a gentleman named either Berger or Berger. He challenged me to pronounce his name correctly, and I believe I lost that challenge. Anyway, his first question was about how to add body to mead. Now, body is a sort of nebulous concept. It's really mouthfeel, what it feels like when you're drinking. But he was specific. He wanted to know how to make a mead, I presume a carbonated mead, drink like a Guinness, like a stout. And the only trick I know, other than leaving a lot of sugar behind, is use maltodextrin. Now, it is up in the air as to whether I'm allowed to use it or not, but I'm going to go on record and say homebrewers should play around with it. I think I may just refer to this person as B. He or she also wanted to know whether replacing the water in mead with broth would be a good idea, an okay idea, a bad idea, and or eccentric. Well, I can say it would be eccentric for sure, and unnecessary at best, but, you know, if you're local and you brew a mead with broth in it, I'd drink it. I've received several questions recently about sediment in carbonated meads, and people wanted to know if there's a way that they can have a naturally carbonated mead without any sediment at all. And the answer is, not really. There are some very, very, very complex tricks for it. Basically what Dom Perignon does to get the yeast out of their bottles, you're just going to have to accept that if you want carbonation and you don't have a forced CO2 system, there'll be a little bit of yeast sediment and other particulates on the bottom of your bottle. I got an adorable email a few weeks ago from Chris, another mead maker in the industry, who wanted to know if I was going to debunk some more mead myths in my program along the lines of my mead probably doesn't cure allergies. And the answer is, I may. I certainly debunk them in articles pretty often, and our Thursday fun facts usually go after some of the bigger myths. But the reason it was an adorable email was after his request, he concluded by saying, then again, I'm not sure I want you to debunk any more mead myths. So Chris, at least for this week, I won't. Our last question this week is a perennial one in the industry, though I received it specifically from another mead maker a few weeks ago, and he wanted to know, how do we educate people about mead? His complaint was that maybe 3% of the people he speaks with have ever tried mead, and only 5 or 10% have ever really heard of it or know what it is. And so he wanted to know, how do we educate people to spur on this mead revolution? And I would say probably the best option is there's this incredible series on YouTube where this guy answers questions about mead making, mead drinking, mead brewing, really any question you're willing to send to him. So, Chris, I would send them there. I guess that's our last question of the week, so I just have to send it over to Ricky with our word of the week. Ricky? Thank you, Ricky. Hope you feel better soon. This week's term is alpha acids. Alpha acids are the naturally occurring compounds in hops that, when isomerized through boiling, lend brews their bitterness. Now, none of my products have alpha acids, but Bitter Bee by Havoc does. Alpha acid is our word of the week and the end of our show. Keep sending your questions and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Cheers.